follow the light. Lend thou thy soul its great
Thank you,
essence.
infinite
One with the
intelligence.
great light let thy consciousness be. Call thou on my when thou dost need me. Use my name 3 times in a row. CHEQUETARELICH Emerald Tablet 13. The keys of life and death. List ye, O man, hear ye the wisdom. Hear ye the word that shall fill thee with life. Hear ye the word that shall banish the darkness. Hear ye the voice that shall banish the night. Mystery and wisdom have I brought to my children. Knowledge and power descended from old. Know ye not that all shall be opened when ye shall find the oneness of all? One shall ye be with the masters of mystery, conquerors of death and masters of life. I. Ye shall learn of the flower of Amity, the blossom of life that shines in the halls. In spirit shall ye reach the halls of Amity and bring back the wisdom that liveth in light. Know ye the gateway to power is secret. Know ye the gateway to life is through death. Aye, through death, but not as ye know death, but a death that is life and is fire and is light. Desirest thou to know the deep, hidden secret? Look in thy heart where the knowledge is bound. Know that in thee the secret is hidden, the source of all life and the source of all death.
So that's death that he's talking about, true death, right? The death that thought the God of wisdom is talking about, right? Is the death of the ego. It is only by the death of the ego, right, can you reach this state of consciousness. The death of the ego that thought is talking about is when there is no reason for you to feel worthy outside love, outside the fact that you are love, and love is the highest level of feeling good. It's so simple and yet it's complex to some people, but that is how simple it is to me. And the death of the ego is permanent, it doesn't reverse once it happens. It's the fear that when you're still in fear, before the ego death, anything fear would still make sense to you. I rubbed a boniki balm, this balm, so it's really pepperish. That's how I keep going. I just rub it on my hand, so it helps the skin expand well. Just in case you are looking for it, but you have to be yes, working out. I saw people rubbing heat balm on themselves, and it made sense. I was like, wow, that works. But yes, I work out a lot, so I can't tell you that is what helps walking. It cannot. It doesn't. It's not like there's a medicine that can compile all the workout I've done inside one pill, and you can just swallow it and you just, you know. I said there's nothing like that. So I can't tell you that Aboniki would, do the miracle if you're not working out. If you're not working out, no matter how you rub Aboniki, there's nothing that is going to happen. So if it's that, you know what to understand. It's left to you, right? So this is my current history without gym access. And not that gym access wouldn't come. It's something I will build you know, with a space that has a permanent structure to working out. Because I just want to even move around, right? I want to be able to pull myself to move around instead of walking. I don't like the conflict, the I'm not the natural. I don't like the normal way of things. I like things, as dynamic as I am. So I've always named myself dynamic because I've known how dynamic I am. right? But yeah, there's a lot of D inside it, D7X, right? So I have always been that. So I'm going back to this audio, and I'm not going to finish the audio at once. But wherever I stop, right, I will try and take notes to see if we can continue from there, or probably a different side of it. Because the truth is, every side of it we cover, right? There was always something going to be new about it. That's why they said read it 1,000 and more times. You can't read it enough, too much, right? That's the meaning of love is never enough. So yes, let's continue.
List ye, O man, while I tell the secret, reveal unto thee the secret of old. Deep in earth's heart lies the flower, the source of the spirit that binds all in its form. For know ye that the earth is living in body as thou art alive in thine own formed form. The flower of life is as thine own place.
That is trying to explain that the way your body, right, has a spirit and soul. The same thing, the earth too has its spirit, the energy, that which is its being in spirit form. It has it as well, just like you do. So I hope I'll be able to clarify that.
Spirit and streams through the earth as thine flows through thy form, giving of life to the earth and its children, renewing the spirit from form unto form. This is the spirit that is form of thy body, shaping and moulding into its form. Know ye, O man, that thy form is dual, balanced in polarity while formed in its form. Know that when fast on thee death approaches, it is only because thy balance is shaken. It is only because one
Now, that balance he's talking about that is shaking is fear. Once fear enters you, the next thing that would happen is death, right? And I don't know how he's describing it because he's talking backwards. So that's one thing I learned from analyzing this. I saw that some of the things he was saying, right, should have been said in the beginning, but he said it later in the ending, towards the ending. So the way he writes is like he's writing in code. It's like if it should be worthy to understand what I'm saying. You should go out of you should think out of the box. You can't just be the ordinary. You can't just you have to like have stressed yourself, to think outside the box to come and want to understand me. That is his own way of prestige. I like the guy, like I gave it to him, right? But yes, I'm not saying he's my role model because I don't have a role model. I just like that. I like the uniqueness, the unique rawness. Everybody has their unique rawness, and I like it individualized because it's all infinity expressing itself. That's just the truth. And God is interested in you expressing that which is God itself within you than you being interested in it. That's why all those people that would bow down to worship, I'm just like God is not interested in you bowing down to worship. It it is something that is looking for importance. But when you understand that you are love, right? Love has to be important to exist. So if you are loved, you are important to exist. And because you're important to exist, you can't start thinking that something outside you would make you important. It doesn't make sense, right? That's why the ego disappears completely. So let's continue with this. I'm not trying to.
Has been lost. Know that thy body, when in perfect balance, may never be touched by the finger of death.
So that balance, I don't know if I was able to nail it on the head. That balance is pure bliss. It's actually church. It's what they call church. It is the highest level of feeling good. It is love at its core. It's unconditional love expressed in full. When you are in that state, you are in balance because you are not in anything negative. You are not worrying. You are not thinking negative because negativity is shit to you. It doesn't. You don't want to get filtered. You don't want to soil yourself with such negativity. You see it as filth. That is how you process negativity. It doesn't make sense to you to embody it, let alone have it close to you. You don't want to be associated with it. It's not that you hate it, but it's repulsive. And it is not the wrong thing that is repulsive. It is because it is not love. Once something is not expressing love, you become irritated. That is a level of growth that you cannot express anything but love because it only makes sense because you understand you are love. You are not trying to believe in God. You understand that what you exist within is alive. The fact that you exist is a proof that God exists, and yet you are looking for proof. That's the crazy thing. Like, when I see people looking for proof, I'm like, are you kidding? So that is the highest vibration, that is balance, that he's talking about. Once you are dead, you're there's nothing like negativity because you are not attracting anything negative. It cannot come into your field unless you are not genuinely vibrating positive. And once that is true, that you're genuinely vibrating positive, then why are you now feeding your attention to anything negative again? It doesn't make sense, and that's how it fades out of existence. That is why everybody needs to feel attention to love we exist within.
I. Even accident may only approach when the balance is gone. When ye are in a balanced equilibrium, ye shall live on in time and not taste of death. Know that thou art the balanced completion, existing because of thy balance of poles. As, in thee, one pole is drawn downward, fast from thee goes the balance of life. Then unto thee cold death approaches, and change must come to thine unbalanced life. Know that the secret of life in Amity is the secret of restoring the balance of poles. All that exists has form and is living because of the spirit of life in its poles. See ye not that in earth's heart is the balance of all things that exist and have being on its face?
I said, let me show you the synchronicity before I snap it. So, they are always in one with synchronizing.
You are needed right.
And I can tell you that everything that happens, God has an intention for it. Whether you understand how it works or it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense. I'm so excited because I just started growing. Like, if you know how excited I am, you just be smiling because I'm just grateful to God that I am no more questioning all I've seen because of the. Just when you see certain things, you're just like, imagine your mouth not closing for a year because of what you see. Ah, God took me to 3 years of understanding that the only thing that exists is God. And after that 3 years, nothing could do me again. Nothing can surprise me. Like, everything lost ability to affect me. because for 3 years, right, I repeated not connecting to anybody but God, and I saw the value of it. Why I would rather pick that, not because I don't have good people in my life that are nice to their own understanding, right? But the fact that nothing can come before God, nothing is above God, and I'm more interested in God. But you see, God is like, don't try to clinch to me. Try to understand the God within you. So who am I, right? Who am I not to want to dig deep and understand what gives me life? Because what gives me life, right, is why I'm here. Imagine someone I call my father, right, is younger than me. Why? He's the first person that gave me help to start the transition of my life, right? That's what I call it, the transition of my life. And just starting that made me see that every limitation I thought existed was actually stupidity, meaning that it was me not caring to understand that God used itself to better all that can exist. And once I understood that God used itself to better all that can exist, nah, there's nothing you can tell me that can shake me because God used itself to bet all that can exist. Is written in gold. It's not something that I created or you created. It's not something that can be stopped or changed. So this is my new history so far, right? And I still have to work on the shoulders. Each. So yeah, the shoulders. So yes, let me go back to before time goes.
taking their form and ruling o'er man. Only by magic could they be discovered. Only by sound could their faces be seen. Sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. But, know ye, the masters were mighty in magic, able to lift the veil from the face of the serpent, able to send him back to his place. Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only a man can pronounce. Swift then they lifted the veil from the serpent and cast him forth from place among men. Yet, beware, the serpent still liveth in a place that is open at times to the world. Unseen they walk among thee in places where the rites have been said. Again, as time passes onward, shall they take the semblance.
So in places where the rites have been said, any place that someone has gone to do ritual or sacrifice, that is where they gave powers to shadows. That was how they sneaked in by blood. When you draw blood, right, you destroy a life that you did not create. That act is punishable by existence, and that punishment is what is drawn that dark shadow that now operates because of the blood you drew. Is the punishment by God itself. So God used itself to better all that can exist. I don't know if you can see it. Yo, yo. It just popped up. So this is understanding that the way those people talked in their time, they used a lot of metaphor and Shakespeare kind of, you know, soliloquism in it to express themselves. And the way they expressed themselves was beautiful in the way they know how to. You cannot judge the time and period of how person they speak language. Language grows with time. That's just the honest truth. And with time, we knew what was up, right? Because English became better. Some languages that did not last was not because of anything, but the people that carry the languages, right? When we kill each other, we expose these shadows upon the earth. So you see why I will never tell you that war is anything that can make sense to me, because it is stupidity. I'm wondering why my phone is alerting me all of a sudden again. Most times it's always alerting me when there's something synchronized. Most often. So the truth is, without understanding what killing does, right? You think when you kill, you are so innocent because you are doing it for a good cause. Killing is killing. You did not create anything. This is what killing does. So African was what started this slavery, this inhumane torture. Why? Because we are, great of all times. We know the hear word. We have big head. We get coconut head. We know the hear word, right? Why? Because we are the gods. We are the principalities and powers. There is no principalities and powers anywhere else but Africa. Why? Because Africa is the main thing. Anywhere else is just an imitation of what is happening in Africa. Africa is the shaman of it. Why? Because it is the center of existence itself. It is literally the hell, right? That in the energetic field, if you can see hellfire, right? There is no location apart from Africa. There's no more location apart from Africa. And that's why people don't understand it. It is not because it is evil in the sense that it is the center of existence that refused to grow and ended up turning into the opposite. Because when you think you have grown and you don't grow, you don't push forward. That's why indigenes, right, are usually Africans. Indigenous people are usually local people, right? But Africans are the people that the gods that don't want to explore and go to other places. They feel it is so prestigious that they try to cage it for only themselves. They don't want any other person to have domicile inside it. They don't, trying to protect the center ended up now doing the opposite, being it where I don't know if you get the understanding. Instead of it to be the, it became the cage instead of the protection, right? The cage became bondage instead of protection. That's what happened because when you don't grow, you think because God created the center first, right? Elsewhere is insignificant, is filthy. So you don't want to go and expand. Because why can't you just move? The whole point of infinity is to see different. See, infinity is diversity. There is so much diversity in infinity that you can't say because you were born on it, you were created, that's your origin, your root. You should not go out and explore. The whole point of meeting new people, meeting new, traveling the world, if it was part of our being, do you know that it will be so easy to move? It will be something that is part of us, but we want to acquire land that we did not build, cage ourselves, kill over the land. Like, think about it. You can think of so many things to do than stay and like go for a vacation. Like, when imagine principalities and power not knowing what a vacation looks like. What are you pursuing? What is pursuing you in infinity? Like, why don't you want to grow? What are you scared of? If you grow in love, because love is infinite growth. You can see you don't want to grow. What are you scared of? Right? Because it's fear that always brings about separation that holds you back. Because the truth is, everybody is light. Love uses itself to base all that can exist, and we are all equally light. You are that light that you are desiring to shine. But you can't be that light in trying to copy somebody else. And you can't be that light when you are not seeing that value within you. That you think you are envying another person. Then the God within you, you are saying is not worthy. How will you do that to yourself? And you're now feeling bad about it at the same time. Like, seriously, give yourself some credit. Right? I was once upon a time trying to connect because I want everybody to feel good. But now I can understand that I'm not God over anybody. It's not my business. I'm just supposed to shine the light. And when they see it, the light is shining, they'll consider why can't I just shine too? Right? And join and shine. Because there's supposed to be so many lights shining. So many people have seen the vision, right? You have written it in books, you have written it in spirit. So it's just for everybody to start shining, everybody happy, everybody. Because that's it, love is infinite intelligence. And it's supposed to be shining everywhere. It's supposed to be bright. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. Everywhere is supposed to be blooming with love because love is abundant. Love can never be too much, it can never be enough. That is what it is really meant by love is never enough. God is infinite. And you see, God is what makes anything exist that is good. So if you think gold is good, it is God that made it exist. There's nothing that can exist that is good without God. Because God is prestigious to let anything exist but itself. You should understand that. If you think you are prestige, you know class, they are just expressing God. And it is not wrong, but you can't express it in that manner that is negative because it's stealing your energy. You're supposed to know that you are the most powerful force in all of existence because you are. You are love. You are mwah, you're sexy and you know it. Like you're seriously crazy with sex. Sorry. with energy, with sexual energy anyway. But the truth is, you gotta feel good to know what it means like truly. So thank you for joining my life if you did. And if you feel good today, genuinely, you start making it your mission. I swear to God, you will love to love. I swear. You understand why I'll just be like, I am in love with love. Nothing can love me. Love. Oh, so thank you, my dear. So yes, I continue my workout. At least you see my current history before I proceed to the next level. A new day, a new role. Na, 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 na.